Okay. If you can't find a single person, then you probably should change your friends group. But then also that implies that I'm saying other people should be friends with Steven Crowder, which I feel like is cruel and unusual torture. So I will not say that, because I think that it's fine that Steven Crowder has the small circle of sycophants that he has surrounded himself with. It would be objectively worse for all these other people.
Care whether he's guilty or not. I'm glad that he was. I mean, that should stop you in your tracks. What if you're on trial, Greg? And
I'm just being honest.
I know, it's like now you're saying that
he's the toady from Christmas Story.
His retort is like, "Come on,
when Scud Farkas tells you to come, you better come." Right, Roger Ailes? Oh, he's not here anymore. Right. Please keep me employed.
Oh, yeah. It's just the absolute wrong way of thinking, because now you've put the mob more in control of everything, right? So whatever.
Bro, he is big mad at Greg Gutfeld for.
I'm Ryan.
God, he's also such a theater kid. You know what I mean? He's like. He's such a fucking theater kid, dude. Me. Okay, bro, we get it.
Whatever keeps them appeased is okay now.
Yeah.
Well, and Gerald's right. When you see the beginning of the clip, he does say that, but then he ends up saying, "Oh no, it's because I think he was guilty." He's just covering his ass. He doesn't think that. Yeah, it's very obvious to see his mind working to that. And
it's tough to know.
I've never met the man. I've done plenty of stuff for Fox, but I've never had the honor.
It's tough to know because he very much it's like you see there. You can see him trying to make sure he fits in with enough of the cool kid.
Yeah.
That determines his opinion. No. I think he's guilty once he feels enough pushback.
Yeah, they tried that. They tried that on election night.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Worked like a charm.
Watch Louder with Crowder.
The guilty verdict.
Top 5 words.
Not enough. So here you go. You have Keith Ellison. You have, I don't know who else we have. I know we have AOC in this clip. Them saying, this is always what happens, this is just the first step. Because you can't have an actual summer of peace. Then how would you have mass mail-in voting if you don't have these going into the midterms? How would you make sure that you...
Wait, I want Steven Crowder to describe to me how massive mail-in voting works with ongoing protests about police brutality. Like, I need to understand how the fuck do people connect that. Like, I need to understand how someone like Steven Crowder connects those two things. Also, everybody wants a summer of peace, jackass. It's just that there is no peace for a fucking black person, and cops are still murdering people in your neighborhoods. Just how it works. But hey,
defund the police and you remove an entire voting. How do you do that? You got to make sure that you have at least some rioting, just a scotch of rioting. So here is the reaction from the left. Lest you thought, okay, we can all breathe a sigh of relief.
I would not call today's verdict justice, however. Because justice implies true restoration.
This is not the system working. This is a makeup call. This is the justice system trying to say that, hey, this is one bad apple, because that's how this is going to be interpreted.
A measure of justice isn't the same as equal justice. This verdict brings us a step closer.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds provocative.
We still have work to do.
I mean, she's saying it. Like, I hate to defend all these people who are liberals, except for Keith Ellison, who I like. But, like, they're kind of saying it as you're talking over it. Why are you just, like, clipping their actual good takes? It's so weird.
We still must reform the system.
We're never going to be satisfied. Black Lives Matter isn't a trend, it's a movement.
She said it.
Black Lives Matter forever, okay? So
like, what? I guess they were just, like, expecting them to shut the fuck up and be like, thank you. This is so great. We finally reached a conclusion. Out of the 15,000 times that cops have killed someone, this is the 7th instance since 2005 where a cop was convicted. All right, I guess racism is over. Pog.
We're not going to stop.
Forever? Forever?
Conviction, but we're going to keep going.
It's not justice. And I'll explain to you why it's not justice.
Look.
It's not justice because
This is how you know. This is how you know he's like such a fucking gigantic racist. She's not even speaking in like AAVE. But Steven Crowder immediately texts her. I wonder why. I know it's like a fucking I'm sorry, Miss Jackson reference too, but
justice is George Floyd going home tonight to be with his family. Justice is Adam Toledo getting tucked in by his mom tonight.
Justice would be my insurance would have covered my eye transplant from somewhere other than Michael's.
I didn't even.
Does anybody have a carrot?
Watch Louder with Crowder live.
wait, what? Bro, that's that one hit me in the face. I just don't even understand what the joke was. Like, what was he trying to say that like AOC's not hot or something? It's like, dude, I don't understand it. Like, I mean, listen, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I'm not gonna say that actually. He really loved the horse joke. You could tell he's still watching South Park with that 11-year-old mind. The joke is that she looks like a horse. I love that. No, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna make a joke about how, like, look, if you're not sexually attracted to women, like, just whatever, you know, it's normal. Just
Home tonight.
fine. Like, I understand. Okay, it's fine. Some people aren't, you know. But I mean, hitting like AOC on like she's not attractive is such a weird fucking line of argument because like half the time it's literally conservatives like obsessively fucking having like a psychosexual romantic in their own minds parasocial romantic relationship that they have with AOC that like is leading them to feel this way that they do.
Definitely healthy way.
Not even women, dude. Even if you don't find one woman in specific to be attractive, just shut the fuck up. Like, half the time it's people objectifying AOC that's the problem. So it's kind of weird that, like, motherfuckers are like, AOC is so unattractive. It's just a weird line of argument to make. You see what I'm saying? Like, the problem with AOC, for the most part, is literally that people find her attractive and then straight up objectify her and belittle her and you know, talk about her looks a lot. It's rather odd to be like, yeah, this person that like Ben Shapiro clearly is in love with, and all these other conservatives are clearly in love with, like, and are obsessed with. Well, that person is actually, well, she's fucking not attractive. You're ugly. Lol. Anyway, Candace Owens. Okay, I don't want to see this. Did I strike a nerve? Val Demings takes on Jim Jordan. No, I don't care about that.
We ain't gonna stop until we get justice. Justice for George Floyd. Justice for Dante Wright.
Yeah, it's like the Pokemon. Like, it's like the incels that shit on Pokemon where they're like, oh, the only reason why people watch you is because you're fucking hot. But also, you're not fucking hot. You're so ugly. It's like, what the fuck? Pick one. Pick a category, okay? Either you have to say like people like her because they find her attractive, or she's not attractive. Like, you can't just simultaneously be like people like you because you're attractive,
here,
and then turn around and be like, but you're actually unattractive. Ah, kind of weird. You wouldn't have anything without your looks. Also, you're ugly.
We are minutes away from hearing the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. We're outside of the courthouse, and this area keeps filling up with more and more people the closer we get to hearing the results. What we've been hearing from protesters today is that they can't handle any more bad news. What has the last year been like for you?
Mixed emotion. I mean, I guess, you know, seeing my community get destroyed, but at the same time getting tired of this injustice. You know, that could be my little brother. That could be me next.
How are you feeling today that the verdict is in?
I want justice to be served and put this behind us and, you know, not just sit down and say, well, you know, the officer got locked up, so it's over. I mean, there's a lot more to be done. You know, it's not like we're demanding something better. We just want something like everybody else to be treated fair and equally. I mean,
yeah. What will justice look like today for you?
Equal punishment for his crime. The man was senseless murderer. He didn't value life, so his life should be taken as well.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
So we are minutes away from hearing the verdict in the Chauvin trial. So how are you feeling in this moment?
Anxious. I really don't know what to expect.
What does justice look like for you today?
Justice right now looks like he sits in the bottom of the prison for the rest of his life, for sure.
Are you guys prepared for the worst?
When police murder someone, they don't get charged with the crime. So the fact that we've even made it this far is historic, but that's not enough. So in my heart, I'm almost not prepared for the worst. You know, I don't know how many people out here can take that. How many people at home can see that and their kids see that you could get killed for nothing. How many people can live with that? I don't know. So I don't know if we prepare for the worst, for real.
Which one? Which one? Which one?
For every high-profile case that you see, there has been the verdict came.
Motherfucker saying he's welcome to the cookout. Like, but that dude's not white, dude. Like, chill out, guys. Probably like fucking. He's probably like Logic or some shit. He looks biracial.
It's official. Derek Chauvin has been found guilty on all 3 counts, including 2nd and 3rd degree murder and 2nd degree manslaughter. When the verdict was read, we saw people hugging, we saw people crying. It was just a wave of emotions as a weight was lifted off the city's shoulders after a year of trauma. And a lot of people that we talked to, though, said that this verdict was just a start for what justice looks like for this community.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I'm very happy, very excited that, like, it's not even like Derek going to jail, obviously, but, like, we're one step forward to getting justice for everyone.
Yeah, we were feeling a lot of emotions. We were listening to it in the car ride back up here, and just joyful.
These are you guys, dude. This is literally my little fucking little Somali Zoomers in the fucking chat.
That at least a little part of the system
Like,
works.
straight up.
We're about to tear shit down, so we know we gotta
fasting.
rebrand the system, and this is just a little bit of victory towards that.
What has the last year been like for you? What has the last couple of days been like for you, waiting to hear this verdict?
Shit was burning down, like the cops were very much aggressive with us. So to see this, obviously, like, everybody's happy today. It's been very sad the last few days, especially with Dante Wright's death. Exactly. Like Adam's death. It's just like, it's been hard. So it's good to have like one community come together and be happy for one.
How do you see the city moving on after this?
When the riots happened and when the protests started, I was not surprised at all. I'm a lifelong Southsider, and I have always known that this place is full of revolutionaries, and that we were tired of this shit. George got a sliver of justice today, but true justice would be a police system that wouldn't casually murder people.
So what I'm hearing you say is that these results is just a start.
It's not, I want to tell people, like, this isn't, George isn't the only one that got killed by police brutality. So it's like, it's just a start of towards justice, but it's not the end.
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. We want to go. We want to go. We want to go.
I think we're headed towards implied immunity being gone in America. I think it's absolutely necessary, and this is the first step in that, is holding them accountable.
Were you expecting him to be guilty on all 3 charges?
I was praying for it in every way, because if not, that's almost America taking an absolute stance that Black lives don't matter, that police are allowed to get away.
Bro, I feel like they literally, Vice just went to a Hasanabi audience and interviewed people. This literally just looks like my audience overall.
So I was praying with everything in me.
I guess more female than not, but
it was gonna be guilty. Yep. Had to believe it. Had to.
Can you talk about what this last year has meant and leading up to this point? Do you feel like justice was served and that this community is ready to move on?
Until you see sustained systemic change, we're not there yet.
Qualified immunity, it needs to be gone. Cops need to realize that they can be held accountable as murderers. So this is just a touch, just a tip of the iceberg, but it's a great start for that ripple effect.
Do you think this verdict sent that message that cops can be and will start be?
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, and I hope it continues to push legislation forward in all 50 states as it is right now. I hope that it really pushes that forward. We've seen New York go ahead and get rid of implied immunity, so I hope that that's just the start of that. And holding Derek Chauvin accountable was the first step in showing police officers everywhere you just can't kill Black people and get away with it. And this is monumental. It's huge.
Yes! Woo! Yes!
That's a big guy!
okay. I am going to now talk about the Ma'Khia Bryant situation, but I am worried that is going to have like blood or something, you know what I mean? Oh, they literally just show the body camera. What the fuck? Just don't show the footage, no blood, but it shows her shot. Safer stream with a freeze frame of the video.
Verdict was read. A Black teenager in Ohio was shot and killed by police who were responding to reports of an attempted stabbing. Laura Podesta joins us now with more details on that. Laura, do we know who made that call to police?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. At this point, police are not saying who made that call, but Ma'Khia Bryant's mother, the victim's mother, spoke to our CBS affiliate in Columbus, Ohio, and said that it was her daughter who called 911 before police responded and shot and killed her. Now, we are going to show you body camera footage from that police response, and we want to warn you it's disturbing.
Officials in Columbus, Ohio released body camera footage
okay, let's just
hours after a Black teenager in the city was shot and killed.
You can go find it yourself if you
officer.
want, but
Columbus police say they were responding to a 911 caller who said someone was trying to stab them.
We think it's critically important to share as much information as possible.
Police say 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant was trying to stab 2 people with a knife. The officer fires and Bryant falls to the ground. The teen was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
Deadly force can be used to protect yourself or the protection of a third person. So that is within the policy, and that was within the law. That is what the law says. Whether this complies with that will be part of that investigation.
But that claim of protection of the 2 other women.
I feel like this literally happened. I feel like I remember covering a story that was exactly like this, where a person who called the cops in an effort to engage in self-defense was shot and killed by cops. I'm pretty sure I covered this. Not this story, obviously, but
did not stop protesters from taking to the streets into the night to demand justice for Bryant's life. Officials
No, not the mentally ill person in Pennsylvania. No, that's not what I'm thinking of.
are calling for calm while the incident is investigated. It's unclear who started the initial fight or who called police.
Ma'Khia Bryant's mother also told our CBS affiliate in Columbus that she'd last seen Ma'Khia on Thursday when she told her that she had just made honor roll at her school.
Wow. So Laura, you know, we can tell that it's a pretty chaotic situation when you look at the video, and as you point out in your story, there are a lot of details that are simply unclear at this point. What is sort of a departure from other cases that we've seen is that police have already released the surveillance video or the body cam video. Do we know why they released it so early, and when we can expect more details about this incident?
Well, Anne-Marie, they clearly want this investigation to be very transparent, and that's why they released that video so quickly. Just a few hours later, they said they weren't able to release even more because they have to blur out the faces of the minors in that video. So they just wanted to get the crux of that video where it shows Ma'Khia being shot out to the public as soon as possible. And perhaps that was to prevent potential violent protests in the streets, because perhaps the police believe that that video shows it was a justified use of force. We will learn much more.
So at the moment, from what I understand, we do not know if it was a certainty that the person who called the cops was the same person who the young girl, the 16-year-old girl that was shot. So we don't know that yet, I don't think, right? That's not how it works. Like, some people were very clear about that being the case. It doesn't even matter. Even in that situation, it even if it was her, it still kind of doesn't matter, because if a cop rolls up on scene and you have a knife and you're in the process of stabbing someone, then usually they're going to react. Should they react with a fucking gun? No. That's completely psychotic. The 911 call is on the playlist, and it's titled Witness Calls 911. Okay. Like, it's a deadly weapon. It's assault with a deadly weapon. The cop is literally seeing. Obviously, it's still it's still unacceptable, because it's still a fucking police officer killing a 16-year-old, okay? Lib take? What? I don't, yeah, okay, it's a lib take. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. Fuck, this is literally why I say it's always bad to have guns to begin with. Because if a cop shows up on scene and you have a fucking gun, like, you know, it could be a situation where you could get shot. When people bring guns to protests and shit. Mass shooters get brought in alive all the time. In the UK, they do knife attacks and don't get shot normally. I agree. I think that there are better ways of dealing with this than immediately coming in and shooting. Immediately coming in and shooting someone. And I wish in the United States, effective policing measures were put in place that cops never fucking shoot, no matter what the situation is. But this is not as clear cut, given the information that we have currently. This is not as clear cut as the way that people make it seem, because he rolled up mid knife attack from his eyes. Okay. I think you were recalling the story of Minneapolis Justine Damon. No, I wasn't thinking of Justine Damon. Justine Damon did not have a knife. Also, we know of mass shooters have been taken in by the cops peacefully. Yes, We do know. Are you holding water for the police, dude? What the fuck? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. How would you recommend that cop save the girl that was being attacked? I think when someone has a knife in their hands and they are mid-stab or going in for a stab, it depends on the situation. From what I've seen, the limited amount of information that I have in this circumstance, and I do not know who made the call, how did this happen, but if a cop is rolling up on scene, as the body camera implies, and he sees a girl push another girl onto the ground and then lunge at another girl with a knife, there is a split-second decision that the cop has to make. The split-second decision that the cop has to make in that situation is trying to apprehend the suspect physically. I think that is what is warranted here. She was shot 4 times. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That 4 shots is nothing. It's just they're supposed to empty out their magazines. We've talked about this so many times. For the people who are saying she was getting jumped by like 3 people or pulling a knife on her is at the very least justifiable, I agree. I agree with you, but I don't know that. Okay? I don't know that. I literally don't know that. And you don't know that either. Okay? I don't know what the entirety of the context is, which is why I want to wait for additional information. I do know, however, that tasing someone who literally has a fucking knife and they are stabbing someone after they have already demonstrated that they're like hurting another person, a taser is not the most effective way to do it. Why are you even entertaining the police perspective? I'm not entertaining the police perspective. The only thing that we know in this instance is just body camera footage. That is not entertaining the police perspective. That is looking at the only perspective that we have. And I mean perspective as in literally the only video that we have in this circumstance. Okay? I think cops should always try to physically subdue someone. But this is one of those edge cases where this person literally is in the process of stabbing someone. I don't know what the deal is. They jumped her in her own hands, so she called the police for help. She was using self-defense. I'm not saying she's wrong.
Shooting of Charlene Lyle?
I'm saying this is
love you, Chad.
This is negligence on behalf of, or it's not even negligence on behalf of the fucking cops. To be honest, it is. I'm saying it's understandable that this happened. It is unfortunate that it happened. I'm not even saying that the girl is in the wrong here. But just remember that very, very likely that the cop might not get into trouble at all. Unless there is additional information that we will get to, that we will find about what kind of knowledge that the cop had. What kind of knowledge that the cop had. Because remember, chat, she is not lunging at a cop with a knife. She is not holding a knife and saying, I'm going to fucking kill you. There are a lot of instances, there are a lot of circumstances where cops will go up and murder someone just because they have a fucking knife in their hands. I find that to be completely unacceptable. And I have said so time and time again. You feel me? You get that part? Do you understand where I'm coming from with that? But this is not one of those instances because from the police's perspective,
lesbian pride.
from the police's perspective, from the officer's perspective, he's seeing literally an active crime situation where there's like a violent crime happening. A stabbing is happening in front of his eyes. Do you see what I'm saying? She's a kid, Hassan Pepego. Okay. Guys. I think I need to show the video or something. Like, I think you need to see the final moment. You're going to make me show you the final moment. Okay, here. This is just a pause screen. But this is one of the final moments of this person where they are lunging at another person with a knife. This is a gray area. I don't know what else to tell you outside of I have to wait for context. You don't have to agree with my point of view. I don't know. You don't know the intent of the other people. You don't even know if they were jumping her or not. If that's the case, that's additional context that we do not know at the moment. Literally without any sort of fucking additional evidence that came out that I'm unaware of. When do you start streaming now, or is this only a one-day thing? Dude, yes, of one day. I always start. Agree we both know that she'd be alive if she were white? Come on. I mean, maybe. Maybe. It's
Okay.
just... It's not a 100%. I can't say that with 100% certainty. Guys, cops can de-escalate and should de-escalate circumstances involving knife crime. This is not a regular circumstance involving knife crime. This is not a person... Like, motherfuckers be like, look at the UK cops apprehending someone with a machete. Yeah, except that person that was apprehended with a machete was not in the process of cutting someone's fucking throat with the machete. So, like, showing me an entirely separate video of someone with a machete being apprehended by UK police during a knife crime is something that I completely agree with. Like, yeah, I think there are instances where there's a knife out where cops should not fucking react with an escalated use of force. 100%. But as I'm showing you, like, we don't know. I don't know what the fucking context is. I don't know what the additional context is. All I'm seeing is a 16-year-old girl who's in the process of stabbing, and I see a cop that runs out of the fucking car and shoots them. You wanted me to cover it with the amount of information that is readily available at the time currently. And so I'm giving you my perspective is at the time currently with the amount of information that I have, while telling you that this is a little bit more nuanced than this is not as black and white as you would that you suggest in the chat, as some have, and that I'd need additional information. But you have to remember that, like, that doesn't mean that, like, cops are good. I'm not even saying this cop is good. This cop's probably still a fucking piece of shit. Okay? Why are you giving the police the benefit of the doubt? Abolish the police. Not maybe we can reform them if we have some context and more info. But you're But I'm not saying any of those things. You're shadow boxing with a person that is not me, but you've made them out to be me in your mind. Like you're having an argument with yourself right now, man. Honestly, sorry. Okay. It's still very unsettling. And it's still very, very unfortunate that a 16-year-old died. It's even fucking worse if she was killed on a police call where she called the cops to defend her. She was being jumped. But I don't know that detail at the moment, and neither do you. We don't have all of the evidence. A lot of times, even when fucking outlets cover stories like this, they still don't get it right.
The first 911 calls, so you have that information.
911, where is your emergency?
Hold on. Before I continue with this, I have to run an ad. I'm just running a 1-minute ad. Sorry. Here. Let's skip this for today. I mean, motherfuckers, people lose their minds when I skip an important story like this, but then they also lose their minds when I cover a story like this when there is not enough information. I will tell people, I'll be like, listen, there's not a lot of information, so I have to wait until there's more context. But they're like, no, you literally have to cover this right now, and you have to have an opinion on it, and that opinion has to literally agree with my opinion. Like, it's so weird.
It's 3171. Lead that way. Is there an apartment number letter? What's going on? Come up here. The address you need to talk to me. It's 3171. We got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put her hands on our grandma. Get her now. Have you seen any weapons? Ma'am, do you see any weapons? We need a police officer here now. Do you see any weapons? He's officer now. Ma'am, do you see any weapons?
The remaining time on that audio will just be a dial tone, but again, you'll have that full information. We'll play the second call now.
What's the address of your emergency?
It's on Legion Lane.
What's the emergency there?
Oh, well, never mind. The police are already out here. Never mind. Thank you.
What a weird chat history to have. He's banned already.
What's the emergency there?
Oh, well, never mind. The police are already out here. Never mind. Thank you.
Again, those were the only two 911 calls we received, and we did not receive any 645, 459 emergency line calls. Just for some additional information, we received those first call at 4:32 p.m. Officers were dispatched at 4:35 p.m. and the first officers arrived at scene at 4:44 p.m.
Hey, thanks for watching.
I mean, basically, what they're doing here is
gotta really.
Let me describe to you something. What they're basically doing here is trying to say, yeah, sorry, this was fucking bad, but like we just didn't have. They were trying to justify it, so they understand that it's horrible too, and that implies that there is at least negligence with regards to what the officer did there, or that they should have more information before they operate. On instances like this. So they already fucking recognize to let her stab is a split-second decision. Yeah, no, I know. This is why I'm saying it's not as open and shut. Despite the fact that this is a fucking 16-year-old that was shot and killed by cops. And you would expect that to be immediately an open and shut case that's like completely against the police in this instance. It's not as black and white as people would have. It's not as black and white as people assume it is. Like, but this isn't like people who say like, oh, the fucking cop is being racist or whatever. I mean, the cop could be racist. Probably is, let's be real. But like, you want a fucking cop to, if you're being stabbed and a fucking cop is right there, you probably would want that cop to shoot the person who's stabbing you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're literally in the process of being stabbed, like, if someone was trying to fucking stab me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, maybe I'm, like, not a good leftist or something, but if someone is literally fucking wielding a knife and, like, trying to stab me and a cop rolls up and shoots the person, I'm kind of gonna feel grateful. It's one of the few instances where you're like, yeah, this is what cops are supposed to do. Like, this is it. This is literally what they're supposed to do as a job. Okay? She was literally getting jumped. What the fuck are you on? Dude, but you don't know that, dude. But you don't fucking know that, dude. But you don't know that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you literally don't know that. You don't know that. You're making that up right now. It might be true, but you literally are making that up. Okay? Right now, you are straight the fuck up adding that context. Okay? It's not as fucking clear cut as you make it seem, and it doesn't even matter because the cop has no fucking clue that that's the case. It's like when motherfuckers will like watch every angle of a situation and be like, I can't believe you didn't know who the imposter was in this Among Us game. Well, you know because you're watching everyone. Son, why do you like cops killing black women? I mean, the inverse is also true for you. Then why do you want cops to? Why do you want one black woman to murder the other black woman? Because that's what was going on. It's not like it was a black girl murdering like a white girl or some shit. So I guess you want. I mean, that's literally what's happening in the situation. Black on black crime. Now that's your fucking take. What do you mean? What are these takes? That's what is going on. I don't know why you're getting mad at that. I'm not saying what about black on black crime, dumbass. But that's literally what's going on. In the eyes of a police officer with his fucking getting on the scene, there is one person with a knife who is literally stabbing another person with a knife. What the fuck? Like, what do you think? It was just like, yo, man, oh, this is sick. I can't wait to murder a black person today. Like, let me get in my car and wait for a 911 call so I can murder a black person. And then they get out of the car and they're like, oh, sick, finally, an opportunity. Like, what do you want, attention? Like, what the fuck are you saying?
Hassan, but what about this random dummy?
There are motivating factors in this circumstance that literally make a cop feel less careful or make a cop act the way that they do. Quicker to fucking react with a gun, quicker to react with lethal force. That's racism. That very much exists in every police altercation. We talk about this stuff all the time. Okay? Cops are not taught to shoot to maim. There is no shooting to maim option. Cops are taught to shoot to kill. You said cop is probably racist without any evidence? Yes, because I am racist against the blue, okay? I am racist against blue people. Blue man, fuck the blue man group. Yeah, you caught me. I did say that.
I love you, Hassan. Hope you have good day.
As a 27-year-old black woman, I am conflicted by this one too. It's not as black and white as the others. Like, I mean, yeah. We watched 10 seconds of video. Motherfuckers are like, dude, actually, you don't know, but that's like, here's the background information. They were actually in a minor altercation that turned into conflict. By the way, I'm not even saying that the other person is evil, by the way. I'm definitely not saying that. The other person is still a victim. She got fucking killed by a cop, okay? So I need you to remember that. I'm not saying that the other person with a knife is like is still, because I don't know. I don't know the additional context. I don't know what the fuck led her to have a knife on her to try to stab someone. Okay? But again, with the evidence that I have in my hands, with what I have said, we need you to remember that, yeah, dude, I'm totally saying that the other person is evil. Why couldn't he taser? I really don't get it. It isn't the perfect time to use a taser because it's lethal force.
Hey, Hasanabi, just a thought. I know
a knife is not
is a cop in real
a
life
knife is not a less than lethal weapon. A knife is a lethal weapon.
These items just to get his perspective
like
as well.
That is like a part of police procedure that that only in like one of those, dude. It's literally probably the only fucking instance where like it is an understandable use of force. If not if you're holding a knife, okay? Not if you're walking around with a knife, but if you are literally in the process of stabbing someone with a knife, that is probably the only instance where it's going to be
hassle.
It's going to be an understandable use of force or an expected use of force. You obviously don't spend much time handling knives. That level was low. Oh, sick, dude. I didn't know. Sorry. I didn't realize we had a bunch of sick knife handlers in the chat. Thanks, dude. I'll be sure to remember that when I'm getting stabbed in the gut. Hey, I know you're coming in to stab me right now, but let me tell you something. In my hands, that's a lethal weapon. In yours, it's baby powder.
The more concerning thing is that it took 3 minutes for the dispatcher to send a cop and 9 minutes for the cops to respond. That's 12 minutes where the situation escalated to the point where the cops arrived. The response time should be quicker.
Are you sure it was not a butter knife? No, motherfucker, that does not look like a butter knife to me. It does not look like it looks like a chef knife. Like, it looks like a knife, dude. Like a kitchen knife. I mean, it's not the greatest quality video, but
Has what?
This footage is much more clear. Oh yeah, that is actually much more.
We want to be as transparent as.
Sorry, I'm just gonna play it, but not show it. I want to watch it myself. It's also the only like. It's dog shit when the only information that you have.
Chats wrote today.
The only information that you have is like literally fucking. What the fuck? Okay. The full video is hella chaotic. Actually, honestly, the video makes it never mind. Watching the full video, it changed my perspective a little bit. Anyway, I get why there is still a use of force there, and the cop is most likely not going to get into trouble for that one. But there is more opportunities. Like there's more he could do. It's still a gray area. But I feel a little worse about the like I'm not as confident with my original take. Lady in the pink was just standing there. No, the only reason why I say that is because the lady in the pink was like doing a good job defending herself. Shouldn't have come out so hot. I mean, I'm still saying it's a gray area. But only because the other girl in the pink seems to be defending herself a little bit better against the knife. But it is still a fucking chaotic situation. Here come the people who are going to say, but it's still a gray area, and the cop is still going to get away with it. And KW, I'm wrong, but I won't admit it. Hassan Pikers is always wrecked. Okay. This is the worst part about these fucking situations is that again, like long-term community members straight up want me to fucking have a take on a situation that resembles their own. They've made up their minds. They're probably in the wrong, but it doesn't fucking matter. And then they get upset. And when I say, "Hey, this is a situation where my opinion might change because I don't have enough context," they're like, "I want you to look at this. I want you to know the information in advance. I want you to give me the take in advance. And then also on top of that, if you ever change your mind in the process, I'm probably still going to make fun of you because I'm a fucking delusional, brain-dead idiot who just wants to argue on the internet and don't actually care about the causes that I want you to talk about or the values that I espouse. That's it. Okay? So going forward, I'm just not going to cover this fucking shit ever again. How about that? Ultimately, it still doesn't matter because I do think that it's a fucking chaotic situation in which a cop gets out of a fucking squad car, sees a person literally in the process of stabbing someone, and then shoots them. That is what a cop is supposed to fucking do. Like, it's entirely different than like a person that's walking. It's entirely different than a person that has a knife in their hands. It's entirely different than a person who has a knife in their hands and are walking towards the cop itself even. Okay? Ohio has a stand your ground law, so no matter what the situation, if a girl was attacked, she shouldn't have been killed by the police. She was defending her rights within the law. And how messed up do you have to be to think that a literal child is going to stab a girl to death in broad daylight in front of a witness? Stop searching for reasons to make this okay. I mean, dude, what do you think is happening here, dude? Do you want me to fucking play it again? Like, what do you think she's doing? Like, what do you... I'm sorry, but, like, what do you think she's doing, dude? Like, do you want... This is a traumatic fucking video, but do you want me to... Do you want to watch it? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't mean that that girl is a murderer, by the way. What means is that girl could have very clearly been doing this for self-defense. I'm so confused as to what you're saying when, like, I mean, look at the situation. It's not like she's trying to have a fucking argument with the... She's not like, hey, let's have a debate about this knife that I have in my hand. I guess the only instance is, I mean, you saw the fucking 9/11 calls. You heard the 9/11 calls. Okay, cops or anyone, hold on. Like, someone else is saying cops want to go on about how brave they are for putting their lives on the line, but they put 4 shots into a girl with a knife immediately. But he's not at risk here. The reason why he shot wasn't even his own fucking life. The reason why he shot was because he thought he was defending someone else's life. I'm so confused by this, dude. The cop wasn't at risk. He didn't shoot because he was in fear for his life. He shot because he thought another person's life was about to be taken and he stopped it from happening. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Like, cops don't have a duty to defend other people. What? That's literally their job, dude. What the fuck are you saying? That's literally their only job.
You guys can't even agree on
That's the one thing they're supposed to do.
LOL.
Are you fucking stupid? What are they supposed to do then? What the fuck? Yo, people are crazy. Okay, we're done. We're done with the story. We're done with the story for now. We're done. Guys, just because a cop's fucking legal, there is no legal requirement for a police to fucking care about your safety or whatever, despite the fact that they say they're there to protect and serve, doesn't mean that, like, in theory, that is what fucking cops are supposed to, like, that's what you're supposed to do. The right thing to do in a situation when you're a fucking cop is, like, when you see someone with a knife about to stab someone, you stop that from happening, okay? And depending on how close the situation is, you try to stop that from happening with your gun that's out.
We want to be as transparent.
Anyway, okay, we're done for now on this story. This is like, I don't know why people are... I mean, I understand why people have, like, a very, very strong take on this, but this is not like... Shit like this is gonna get us the New York City subway cop effect where that guy got fucked up from a knife attack while cops watched the stabber ran out of steam.